Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we are trying to solve question of June 2016 which is of 3 marks. The question is, the curve of fixed length L which joins the point 0, 0 and 1, 0 lies above the x-axis and encloses the maximum area between itself and the x-axis is a segment of which of these, right? So let us see what it states. Suppose if this is our coordinate axis, x-axis and y-axis, then the point 0, 0 lies here, point 1, 0 lies here, right? And suppose we draw an arbitrary curve passing through these 2 points, and let's call this curve as yx. We need to find in this question what form this curve takes, whether it is a straight line, whether it is a parabola, an ellipse or a circle, right? Moreover, what extra conditions we are given in this question? First of all, let us formulate our functional, because in this question the functional is not explicitly given to us. We are asked that the extremal encloses the maximum area. We need to find that curve which encloses the maximum area. So it would be integration. If I say this is curve yx and let me draw a vertical strip into that region, right? So we all know how to calculate the area. That would be y of x, the upper curve subtracted by the lower curve. Lower curve is x-axis, that is y is equal to 0. So we have y of x minus 0 dx, and if I move this strip horizontally from 0 to 1, I will cover whole of this region. So 0 to 1 y of x dx, that would be our given functional j of y, right? Let's call this function as f. So f of x y y dash, that would be y of x. So this is our functional and we need to maximize it. Moreover, the conditions given are this functional passes through the point 0, 0 and 1, 0. In addition to this, one more condition is given to us. What is that? The curve is of fixed length. So such kind of problems are known as isoparametric problems. Isoparametric means having same parameter. So let's see what the parameter of this curve would be. If I take a very small element ds of this curve, then what would be this ds? Let me drop the perpendiculars from this point. So this distance would be dy and this small distance would be dx. So using the Pythagoras theorem, I can write it as d square is equal to dx square plus dy square, or ds is equal to square root of dx square plus dy square, or I can write it as ds is equal to square root of 1 plus dy upon dx whole square, right? So what would be the parameter in our case? Parameter would simply be the sum of all such elements. So the extra condition, let me call this by another functional k of y, that would be integration of this ds. So integration from the point 0 to the point 1, right? So integration from 0 to 1 of square root of 1 plus y dash square dx. This would be our extra condition given to us. So let us see how to find the extremal in such a situation. In this case, we have a result in which the Euler-Lagrange equation reduces to this particular form. That is, suppose the given functional is represented by this function f, and the extra condition this is given by the functional g, then the Euler-Lagrange equation has this form where we first write the Euler-Lagrange equation in traditional form of corresponding to this f, then with plus lambda time with respect to g. So let us solve this equation. So firstly we will have to find out what is f of y. F of y is equal to 1 because it is simply y, and f of y dash, what is that? It is 0. Yes, it is 0. Then g of y, what is this? The g is given to be this g of y, it is independent of y, so it is 0, and g of y dash, that would be y dash divided by square root of 1 plus y dash square. So let's plug in these values into this equation. What we get is 1 minus d dx of 0 plus lambda times, where lambda is constant and which has to be determined using the extra condition, this plus lambda times g of y is 0 minus d dx of g y dash, that is y dash divided by 1 plus y dash square is equivalent to 0, right? So we obtain, that is we obtain 1 minus lambda d dx of y dash divided by 1 plus y dash square root is equivalent to 0. Let us integrate both sides so that we obtain x minus lambda times, this derivative cancels with integration, we are left with 1 plus y dash divided by 1 plus y dash square root is equivalent to some constant, say c1, right? So let us rewrite it, and we get x minus c1 is equal to lambda y dash divided by 1 plus y dash square root. So let us square both sides, and manipulate a little. We have x minus c1 square whole square multiplied by 1 plus y dash square is equivalent to lambda square y dash square. And let's bring the terms of y dash to right hand side. So we can write it like this, lambda square minus x minus c1 whole square, right? Or we can write y dash is equivalent to x minus c1 divided by lambda square minus x minus c1 whole square root. So dy could be written as x minus c1. If I take lambda common from the denominator, so I can write this quantity divided by lambda. Here I took lambda common, so I have 1 minus x minus c1 upon lambda whole square root into dx, right? So the lambda which I brought here, I wrote this in the numerator, right? So let us integrate both sides. For that, I will substitute x minus c1 upon lambda is equal to sine of theta. So now you must be thinking why I took lambda common out of here. So from here I get dx upon lambda is equivalent to cos of theta d theta. Substitute these values back into this equation. We have y is equivalent to integration sine of theta divided by 1 minus sine square theta, and in place of dx we can write it as lambda into cos theta d theta. So solve it a little, let's see what appears. So we have integration sine theta divided by cos theta into lambda cos theta d theta. This cos theta cancels, so we have y is equal to integration, lambda being a constant is taken out, so we have lambda integration of sine theta d theta. So y is simply equal to minus lambda cos of theta, and we have to again resubstitute these values, so we can write it as minus lambda square root of 1 minus x minus c1 upon lambda whole square plus constant of integration, that is c2. So let us rewrite this equation further. So we have y minus c2 is equivalent to minus lambda 1 minus x minus c1 upon lambda whole square square root. So let us square both sides. So we have y minus c2 whole square is equivalent to lambda square 1 minus x minus c1 upon lambda whole square. We can simply multiply the right hand side by lambda square. So we have y minus c2 whole square is equivalent to lambda square minus x minus c1 whole square. So, or rewriting this, we have x minus c1 whole square plus y minus c2 whole square is equal to lambda square. So clearly this is the equation of circle. So our answer would be the given extremal of the functional is a circle, right? So D is the correct option. But in this we have three constants. So let us evaluate these two constants. In the question we are given three conditions. First is that the extremal passes through the point 0, 0, that is y of 0 is equal to 0. So using this, in this extremal we have c1 square plus c2 square is equal to lambda square. Here c1, c2 and lambda, all three are unknowns and we have to calculate these. From another condition, y of 1 is equal to 0, that is the curve passes through these points, we have 1 minus c1 whole square plus c2 square is equal to lambda square. This is another condition. And third condition is that the parameter is constant and that is given to be L, right? So we know it is a circle, so we can either use the functional form to evaluate the parameter lambda, or we can simply say that the parameter of circle is 2 pi, and what is the radius? From here you can say that radius is lambda. 2 pi lambda is equal to L. So from here you get lambda is equal to L by 2 pi. When you plug into these two equations, you obtain C1 is equal to 1 by 2 and C2 is equal to square root of L square minus pi square divided by 2 pi. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you like it.